Hello, neighbors. I'm Bruce Horn, candidate for re-election to the Fairfield Glade Board of Directors. In case you don't know me, I am a longtime homeowner and resident of Fairfield Glade, and I am your neighbor. My wife, Mary Jane, and I are very proud to be involved in and committed to the good organizations and people of this community. For nearly 20 years that I've lived here, it has been my privilege to serve my community and to participate in all the terrific opportunities that Fairfield Glade provides us so that we are able to live a very fulfilling retirement. At this moment in time, though, I must acknowledge the negative rhetoric being communicated among my neighbors, my friends, and our community. This isn't just harming our community, it's damaging to each of us individually. We must be committed to healing the divide among us from this point forward. Please, we must find a way to lower the temperature of our rhetoric. That's what I'm certainly interested in doing, and I'm asking for your support as well. All right, so let's get back to talking about the election and what it means to be a board member, since it was a question at the Meet the Candidates town hall. The question posed then to the candidates was, what characterizes an effective board member? Well, included among those characteristics I identified is a member of the community with a track record of community service, a resident that relies on facts and being open-minded and respectful of others' ideas, a resident member of the community that represents the entire community and does not surrender to special interests or those individuals or groups who are seeking only their own advantages or self-interest. I am and have been and always will be that community member. That is why I'm running for re-election to the Board of Directors. And while we're on the subject of characteristics, another very important one, which I believe relevant, is to spend more time listening than talking. When one is talking, you are, by definition, not listening. If you are not listening, you're not learning. And I do know, if you listen more, you learn more. That's not only a characteristic, it's an obligation to the community. Another part of that question was concerning conflicts of interest. And I want to be very clear on this point. The long-term interests of Fairfield Glade Community Club are foremost for me. However, for the sake of those who might not understand the obvious, if I did have any conflict of interest, I simply would not run for a seat on the board. If anyone with a conflict of interest were seated on the board, they would not be able to participate in many, if not most, of the discussions and issues that come before the board. They wouldn't be able to review the information needed to debate and vote on those items before the board, and therefore make themselves a very ineffective representative for this community. I can tell you what I do have is a strong interest in the not-for-profit business, which is Fairfield Glade. Every property owner and every resident. That's because I live here. That's a big difference in focus and how I think and act for this community. I'll take just a moment on another topic from the Meet the Candidates event. And that's the one concerning transparency. As a board member, I am acutely aware that my votes must be and are in the best interests of the community and not for myself or personal benefit. All votes are a result of examining and reviewing information that sometimes is not available to the public. Some for legal or ethical reasons. Occasionally, it's a result of non-disclosure agreements or other protected constraints. In the end, it's my experience that each and every vote is taken with the goal of providing the best overall results, the long-term best interest of the community club. And as we have been reminded from several sources on this topic, transparency is defined by those individuals as they see it. Let's get back to why I'm running for re-election, and with it, a reminder of our progress since I joined the board in 2022. I also want to make the point that when I say we, I'm referring to not just the board and myself. This includes our general manager, our chief financial officer, our senior management team, and all those talented and dedicated staff and employees who enable our success. Okay? So, since 2022, we completed our first ever reserve study. This was undertaken to identify our physical assets as they exist now, and then fund those capital needs now and for those we'll need for the next 30 years. A review of the facilities reserve was also included in the 2024 annual budget I presented to the community. The reserve study is available on the member website. Please take a look at it. Another initiative, the 10-year capital plan, was also a first for the community. We presented funding strategies for the key capital needs, which were identified by and for the community and supported by the board. The plan also, and very significantly, allowed us to meet our goals by avoiding a special assessment on all of us. So the Druid Hills project with the golf garage and the quarry completed, with the clubhouse on budget and on schedule, the plan continues. In addition, we have very recently started on the new Fire Number 1 and EMS station, another milestone for this community. Again, this capital plan was a first ever for the community. It's now part of how the community operates in the future. A third initiative, the strategic plan, was completed and adopted this year. And just a couple of months ago, we presented to the community the strategic roadmap for the years 2025 through 2030. And when you look at that roadmap the schedule, you can see just how busy we're going to be these next 3 years. The strategic plan has been a 2+ year process that included just about everyone in the Fairfield Glade that wanted to participate, whether in focus groups, surveys, correspondence, and town halls. This was a complex undertaking for all of us in the community that were involved. Both the strategic plan and the roadmap are available on the member website. Please take a look there as well. These are not one and done items, by the way. These are a few of what I prefer to think of as guardrails. Guardrails that I know will help guide us in good governance and economic stability and growth for the future, and will assist boards after us in their good work for our community. In addition to these, I'd like you to recall the challenges we faced earlier with finding and retaining a general manager and chief financial officer, as well as a director of human resources. With the addition of Bill Ward, our GM and COO, Jason Lambert, our chief financial officer, and Candace Neely, our director of human resources, I'm extremely happy to say that those challenges have been met and overcome. And let's not overlook the expertise in other departments we added to our great team during this period as well. I certainly can't and won't neglect speaking to you about our financial success over these past 3 years. I just want to remind us all that we, our community, have experienced significantly increased overall revenue, capital, and member equity year over year since I joined the board in 2022. So I would appreciate it if you would take a look at those audited financial results that are available for any member wishing to review our performance over this period. Just log on to the member website. Again, please take a look. Overall, we've had quite a busy and productive 3 years. The actions and progress we have made as a community these past 3 years have positioned us very well to address our current and future challenges. So in closing, I'm running in order to continue our successes in securing what I know to be the bright future of this community, our community. Thank you. And please remember to vote for me and our continuing success.